Australia has a sickness, and it's not the kind of sickness where you can lie on the couch and recover in a day or two. It's deep, and we've been infected for decades now. It could prove fatal unless we act quickly. You might think the problem is debt, or mass immigration, or high taxes, or whatever, but these are in fact just symptoms of the underlying cause.
Just get to it, Matty. What's with the piss farting?
Geez guys, it's called setting the scene. You know, building the narrative and stuff.
Boring.
Fine. The true cause of our nation's sickness is as simple as it is obvious. Unaccountable and unrepresentative parasites who use our own democratic system against us, who dominate our nation. Along with the media and academia, these are the major parties, and they essentially rely on voter apathy to get across the line election after election. They know many people are politically disengaged and vote automatically, often in line with how their parents voted. Kind of like how most people pick their football teams. Exactly like that. This might seem frightening, but we can take our countries back. We just need to spread the word. It's well past time we ended major party domination and sent these fools packing once and for all. So here are 5 simple steps that we can all do to take our countries back. Before we continue, for some amazing karma, please check out Subscribestar, where for as little as $5 a month you can support my work and help save Western civilization. Step 1. Vote for the minor parties.
So this is how to sack the major parties in the 2019 election. And forget the vote of no confidence strategy, because that won't work. So if you want to throw away your vote, you're indirectly voting for the two-party system. The best strategy we have is to use our vote wisely, because it's the only way to inject our voices into a system that otherwise refuses to listen. Let's look at the House of Representatives first. The ballot will look like this. There will likely be candidates from Labor, Greens, Liberal, minor parties and independents. Do proper research to choose which minor party and independent candidates you should put first. The important thing to remember though is to put the two major parties last. And remember, voting for Nationals and Greens is still voting for the two-party system. In summary, put the bastards last.
Now let's look at the Senate ballot, which is really important. This is what it will look like. The first thing to remember is do not vote above the line, because we don't have to vote for the major parties in the Senate at all. Instead, number 12 boxes below the line and make sure you prioritise good candidates who are independent or from a minor party. Do your research to know who is worthy of putting first. So here is a hypothetical example. Let's pretend the major parties and their partners are in the 3 columns on the left and the independents and minor parties worthy of your vote are on the right. The strategy is simple. All you need to do is only mark minor parties and independents with the minimum number of boxes required for your state or territory. Then you won't need to vote for major parties at all and will get better people into the Senate. This is important because the Senate approves or disapproves legislation from the House of Reps, which is a way to make sure we keep the pollies who work for the ultra-rich in check.
That was a video by Revive Australia. Link in the description if you wish to watch all of it. It sums up the very best way to vote. Putting the bastards last is what everyone should do, but we actually need to do even more than that. It's not enough that you personally vote for a minor party or an independent, although that means you are doing more than the majority of Australians are to save our country. We all need to do more. It will take hard work and more than a little bit of courage. In my day, courage meant running headlong into machine gun fire. Youth these days have it very easy. Indeed, Professor, but let's look at the next 4 steps. Step 2. Encourage everyone to vote for minor parties. We need to get as many people to vote for the minor parties as we possibly can. That means telling friends, family, work colleagues, or anyone who will listen to you. Sure, lots may dismiss your ideas or not care, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Some people are too far gone after all. Some men you just can't reach. And if anyone shows signs of having the leftist brain virus or an inability to change their mind on an issue, simply move on. There is no point wasting your time with these people, as they are essentially religious zealots. The truth is, most hardcore leftists will probably vote for minor parties anyway. One thing you can't do is step over the line and piss people off. Just an example is how vegan protesters are now invading farms and blocking roads in order to protest people eating meat. This will just have the opposite effect of what you intend, as people don't like to be told what to do or inconvenienced. When vegans block roads, it inspires people to go and eat as much meat as they possibly can. Whatever you do, do not be a vegan protester.
Question: if two vegans are arguing, is it still called a beef?
That's terrible, short bus. Step 3. Meet like-minded people in real life and build a real-world community. Meeting people in real life and making real-world connections is the best thing we can do to build our communities and to save our nation. One thing European peoples have lost in the last 50 years is our sense of community, and we need to bring it back. Join community groups, volunteer, and organise with like-minded people. What we need isn't just good online content or to convince our friends and families. What we really need is a nationwide movement. Voting for minor parties is fine as a protest, but it needs to go further than that. We need to resonate our ideas through society. It needs to become the common narrative that the establishment are acting directly against the interests of the people, because that's the truth of the matter. It's also the truth that people are fed up with the system. It's just that many are also slaves to it. They need to see that it's okay to stand up, and the best way to show that is to show them in real life. Right now, our people are atomized, and this is by design. So we need to work to build a movement, one action at a time. Community groups give you a sense of belonging and show you that you aren't alone. Encouraging your friends to join them is even better. Why don't you ever come down to my local basket weaving club, Matty? Because basket weaving is just a little bit gay. Step 4. Mock your enemy. Making fun of people who still vote for major parties and remain slaves to the system is a positive way to softly shame them. Don't be abusive, just tease them in a fun way. Unless they are leftists, of course. It's never a good idea to push people away by slandering them and being mean. This will just leave a bitter taste in their mouth and push them to the other side. Teasing in a fun way is a good way to call out poor behaviour while showing you don't hate the person who does it. The exception to this rule is when you are dealing with leftist NPCs and those thoroughly brainwashed by the system. These people have a brain virus and are incapable of changing their mind, at least not while you are talking to them. Feel free to go as hard as you want when dealing with these zombies. Humiliate them in public and destroy them in debate. Show others that being a leftist is not something to be proud of. Show them it's actually quite a shameful thing. Thankfully, the vast majority of people are not leftists, so you shouldn't have to deal with them all that much in the real world. In case you have a run-in, remember to pull no punches. Your job is to utterly rip them apart and make them look stupid. Unfortunately, you can't own their souls because, well, they don't have any. Stephen Crowder provides the perfect example of how to do this.
Time to listen up, you silly liberal fruitcakes. I came out here, I wanted to tell some jokes. Let's do some reality checks here. Do you have any idea, sir, how pathetic it must be to be you? These people wanted to come out and have a good time, hear a few jokes, some thoughtful discussion, but your head pops off the pillow in the morning with, oh, how can I be a professional victim today? Let me go in and screw with their act just because, oh my God, your parents didn't tell you that your opinion wasn't worth that much. Look, they're confused. You know why? Because I'm not your gender studies professor who has to cater to your trigger warning, microaggression, safe space bullshit. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to come out and tell a few jokes. You created this monster. We have to go. 10 more minutes of this. Let this reverberate. Let it be a life lesson. This monster right here that you're so afraid of, the face you see in your nightmares, was created by social justice warrior assholes like you.
Not everyone is as funny or as effective as Steven Crowder, but that doesn't mean you can't do your very best.
How many social justice warriors does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know, Short Bus. How many?
Just kidding. They can't change anything.
That's terrible, Short Bus. Step 5. Tell the truth shamelessly and without fear. The last and most effective thing you can possibly do is the simplest, but also the hardest in many ways. That is, to tell the truth as loudly and as often as you can. This really should be the easiest thing in the world to do, but as we live in times of universal deceit, it is truly revolutionary. Telling the truth is arguably the most important thing anyone can do. It strengthens relationships, builds trust in society, and usually leads to a good life. Don't hold in what you believe. Be opinionated and speak loudly. If someone doesn't like your opinions, that's their problem, not yours. This is what the left does, and this is what we need to do. If we are to take our country and our civilization back from the demons who control it, telling the truth regardless of consequences is essential. You could even start a YouTube channel and make one video a week. If you only get a handful of views at first, you are doing more than most. If not a YouTube channel, then make a meme or two a day and share them with your friends on social media. Doing anything is better than doing nothing at this point. It's literally a matter of life and death, and we need to treat it as such. This is not hyperbole. Unless enough good people are willing to stand up and tell the truth without shame, everything is lost. The white race is gone, and with it the civilized world, white and non-white alike. This is why Fraser Anning has grown so popular so quickly, and why those in charge attack him so viciously. They know that he represents a return to truthful speech in public. That means he represents an existential threat to them. They can't defeat him in argument, so they have to destroy his character. The only way he loses is if he backs down and apologises, thus accepts their dishonest frame. If he simply doubles down, he keeps on winning. This is a big problem for the establishment. Even if he doesn't manage to win re-election, the movement is real and will be born again in some other manner simply because he tells the truth with courage. Fraser Anning's fans are not going anywhere, and there are plenty. The minor party vote is not going anywhere at all either, especially not in the upper house. In conclusion, the only strategy the establishment has, if people are not willing to back down, is to censor them, and that won't work if we are all willing to stand up and tell the truth. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. If they censor one of us, for only 5 more people to stand up and speak truthfully, they cannot possibly win without brutal oppression. And if you think they won't do that given the chance, you are mistaken. If we don't stand up now while we still have the chance, we may never be able to again. It won't be easy, it will take a lot of effort and could take years for us to achieve ultimate victory, but the sooner we start, the easier it will be. Many hands make light work, as they say. So, in summary, to take our country back, we need to Vote for minor parties. Convince others to vote for minor parties. Meet like-minded people in real life. Tease thought slaves and mock and humiliate the enemy. And most of all, always tell the truth. Thanks for watching. Share the truth around. And I'll see ya when I see ya.
Why are all lesbians vegan? Because they don't eat meat. Why did the tofu cross the road? To prove he wasn't chicken.
Can I tell a vegan joke? I promise it won't be cheesy.
Milliliter, that is terrible.